Hi, my name is Sunny and today I'm pretending I actually know the answers. So come with me on this video essay journey of poor editing and even worse ideas as we interrogate the driving forces behind why Barbie was created. At its core, is Barbie a film driven by feminist or financial motives? And most fundamentally, is Barbie a failure of feminism? Diving straight into the controversy, let's start with exploring a feminist perspective of the film. The three key aspects that we'll examine today is the narrative, the context, and the conventions of Barbie. Let's begin by considering the narrative. Barbie is a narrative that follows a traditional hero's journey, with Barbie occupying the film as the central protagonist. The title of the film actually being called, you guessed it, Barbie, urges the audiences to immediately grasp that the story is a female-centric one.
Barbie, hey, she's so cool, all dolled up, just playing chess by the pool.
Right off the bat, this choice of female protagonist challenges common male-centric narrative conventions, where men historically have always occupied the role of the hero, the main characters in which films are traditionally focused on. However, by championing a female protagonist to overcome struggles in her hero's journey, the film clearly pushes the feminist movement to its forefront. This female focality is supported in all stages of the narrative. In the film's opening, viewers are immediately confronted with a strong display of matriarchal dominance. All positions of authority in Barbie Land are occupied by women. Women are constantly empowered and elevated, and women remain focal to the functioning of Barbie Land society. Additionally, as the narrative progresses, the rising actions of scenes reveal an evident reversal of gender roles.
Please.
Okay.
Wow.
Let's do this.
Can I sit in the front?
No.
Ken as a character occupies the narrative as an inferior counterpart to Barbie, who adopts female character tropes. Laying on the stretcher bidding for care, here, Ken embodies the traditional damsel in distress trope where Barbie acts as his gallant savior. Thus, Barbie inverses gender roles with Ken. This is seen again in Ken's conclusion of character arc, where he embodies the dumb blonde trope.
I only exist within the warmth of your gaze. Without it, I'm just another blonde guy who can't do flips.
So, how is this feminism, you may ask? Well, it ultimately comes down to what Ken represents as a character. Ken is constructed to reflect the invisible, ignored, and discounted women of our society.
Wow.
You can go now.
Ouch. As Ken is constantly dismissed and minimized, even those audience members accustomed to blocking out feminist rhetoric are roused to a sense of outrage and frustration towards his mistreatment. Ken is presented at surface level to be a normal male, but fundamentally, his character is actually a man who faces the struggles of a woman. Thus, through the reversal of character tropes, Greta delivers a forceful message of feminist rage. Inequality exists, and unless we stop ignoring it, society will never progress. Additionally, not only is the narrative pervaded with themes of feminism, but the context in which Barbie was created also lends to the feminist interpretation of the film. Firstly, the hiring choices underpinning the movie are innately feminist. Greta Gerwig, hired as the director of Barbie, boasts a plethora of past feminist works such as Lady Bird and Little Women. These past works have culminated to create her well-known reputation as a feminist film icon and director. Additionally, Lucky Chap Entertainment, which is the production company owned by Margot Robbie, describes itself as a company which produces female-focused film and television productions. This means that the directive and productional foundations of Barbie are formed by feminist icons of the film industry. Additionally, if we zoom out and consider the global context in which the film was distributed and consumed by international audiences, the political backlash surrounding Barbie's release provides some interesting food for thought. Due to growing crackdown on feminism and freedom of speech in Kuwait, the Barbie film was banned from being screened or accessed by audiences. This was quite a common occurrence in many conservative countries across the globe due to Barbie's progressive stance on the liberation and advocacy of the female experience. Hence, this raises questions that if political bodies on a national level deem the film too feminist and ban it, surely the film is feminist, right? Surely. Well, to fully complete our journey to reveal Barbie's underlying feminist agenda, we have to interrogate Barbie's film conventions and how they display deliberate feminist intentions. Firstly, the metafictive commentary spoken through the non-diegetic narrator of the film strongly suggests that Barbie is underpinned by feminist values. Let's listen to some examples of that commentary.
Because Barbie can be anything, women can be anything. Thanks to Barbie, all problems of feminism and equal rights have been solved.
Here, essentially breaking the fourth wall with audience members, the film's metafictive commentary on society and on itself allows the director to deliver key messages to audience members which address the current social inequity in society. This is done in a way in order to critique the gender inequity which the film depicts with as much clarity, impact, and bluntness as possible. Additionally, through the use of monologue, the core frustrations of the feminist movement are presented.
You have to never get old, never be rude, never show off, never be selfish, never fall down, never fail, never show fear, never get out of line. It's too hard, it's too contradictory, and nobody gives you a medal or says thank you.
Through this deliberate decision to afford Gloria an uninterrupted 3 minutes of dialogue, where her acting is manipulated to be impassioned, gesture-prolific, and outraged, the monologue presents frustrated feminist concerns in an emphatically focal and visible way. Thus, this brings viewers to a poignant awareness of such issues with no ambiguity or subtlety involved. It's evident to see that the film is trying to deliver a commentary on systemic misogyny in society, but when you realise that Gloria's monologue is in fact a more sanitized version of Camille Rainville's feminist rage poem, Be a Lady, they said, one asks the question, is this feminism real, or simply a ploy to generate more revenue? Wow, what a great place to segue into exploring the opposing argument about the film's capitalist perspective. With your doubts blooming towards the validity of Barbie's feminist motives, it's now time to consider how Barbie's context, film codes, and narrative conventions substantiate a case that Barbie is fundamentally driven by capitalist motives. Starting off with the context of the film, Barbie's insatiable lust for revenue is revealed in a Mattel public statement in which they refuse to label the film feminist. How does this relate to money, you may wonder? Well, an association with such a terrible buzzword as feminism will be far too triggering for Mattel's broader consumers, leading to a greater likelihood for the film to deter conservative audiences and in turn reducing revenue. Additionally, Mattel's product production indicates an undertone of sinister financial motives. Costumes seen in the Barbie film, such as the roller derby costume and denim Ken costumes, are readily available on Mattel's inspiring website. Just look at these wonderfully, probably contains indestructible microplastic and child labour dolls. I mean, if a $90 plastic Ken clad in mini fake jeans doesn't spell rampant consumerism, I'm not sure what does. Okay, moving swiftly on. To conclude our analysis, let's look at the narrative codes and conventions which underscore Barbie as a capitalist monolith. Firstly, we can't ignore the product placement in the film. Not only do the Mattel logos with its bright red typography arise multiple times in frame, but the Chevrolet car cameos are unmissable and literally pervade the prop and set design of the film. If you're interested, which I'm sure none of you are, there is an entire website dedicated to explaining every Chevrolet car seen in Barbie. Additionally, through the minimization of character dialogue, it's evident that the plus-size characters in Barbie speak a meager 5 lines and are rarely afforded dialogue in the film. This is an example of tokenistic diversity, in which the creators ensure diverse characters are visible in the foreground and focal points of the frames, yet are ultimately not given a major role in the narrative. This is done in order to nullify the mass audience and maintain a facade of inclusion without actually embodying what that truly means. Lastly, in an attempt to appeal to the broadest possible audience, the creators of Barbie employ the use of film references, particularly to older pop culture films, in order to interest viewers from older age demographics. Quintessentially classic, the red pill, blue pill Matrix scene, the Wizard of Oz Yellow Brick Road scene, and the opening scene of Space Odyssey, which is replicated with identical music score and colour grading, all work in collaboration to engage older audiences with pre-existing relationships with Barbie to re-engage with Mattel products. But more pressingly, do these capitalist motives underpinning the movie abate the film's ability to be fundamentally feminist? In my opinion, it doesn't. While Barbie is undeniably a consumerist product of a profit-driven conglomerate, it is also deliberately and skillfully crafted to advocate for gender equity through feminist ideals. And I genuinely don't think you can separate these two perspectives when trying to understand why the film was created. In order to support and adopt the brand of femininity that Barbie represents, you can't detach it from its capitalist precursor, in which you first have to buy her doll, her outfit, or a Barbie movie ticket, in turn helping fuel the revenue of the billion-dollar toy company Mattel. Barbie doesn't fail at being feminist, but it simply exhibits a form of feminism which is fundamentally diluted by its capitalist preoccupation. If you want the feminism that Barbie represents, you first have to buy it. So, is Barbie a failure of feminism?
I'm actually not sure.
And I'm bad like the Barbie. I'm a doll, but I still wanna party.